Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be reviewing the Moon Sport Rigel 700 front bike headlight. With the increase in popularity with out-front bike mounts that allow you to do bike lights and GPS computers, more people are mounting their bike lights upside down. If your bike light has an anti-glare design, that means upside down mounting actually increases the glare. The Moon Sport Rigel 700 solves that issue by integrating a reversible lens, so it actually can be mounted upside down and still reduce the glare. It's a really clever design. In terms of packaging, it's very simple, very similar to the other Moon Sport products. You have the yellow inset color and then the main black exterior color. Moon Sport logos here on the side. All the specs written on here as well. FL1 tested light with all the run times and little QR code on the back as well. You go ahead and take it out of the box and go over the specs. Retail price on this is $57.84. It is a 700 lumen front bike headlight with a dual LED design. It has a lot of Moon Sport's features baked in here as well. So you have USB Type-C charging, and you can actually use USB-C to C charging as well, so you don't have to have a standard serial USB cable port. It has the anti-glare lens design, and this is actually reversible, which is really the party trick for this light. So you can actually just pry this up, flip it around, and then get the same anti-glare on the other side. It has their VLS system, which is their Variable Lumen System. That lets you actually adjust lumen setting dynamically for every single mode independent of one another, which is unique to the Moon Sport bike lights. You also have an ambient light sensor in here, so it can detect the environment, as well as a motion sensor to put the light on standby. So if you forget to turn it off, it'll automatically go into standby and preserve the battery. In terms of what you get the light itself, nice and compact. You get the mount, this is a handlebar mount, and it's kind of cool. It looks like a watch style mount, so it almost looks like a watch band. It has a flexible hinge, so it can accommodate an arrow bar. So you can see it'll go flat, or you can curve it in for a round bar. Simply loop it around. Nice and thick rubber strap as well, so it looks like it's durable. You get the GoPro to Garmin adapter, which is a nice feature, so this lets you mount it upside down really easily without front mounts. Instruction manual, and you also get the USB Type-C charging cable with the distinctive yellow colors. Now let's take a look at the weight of the Rigel 700. So just the light itself, that comes in at 88 grams, so pretty lightweight, and it's all in one design. The handlebar mount, should you use it, is 20 grams, so also pretty light because it's plastic and rubber. Now let's go over the fit and finish of the Rigel 700. It's a very simple light. It's a compact all-in-one design with the integrated battery. You can see it fits in the palm of my hand. A metal housing, and then this plastic rear section where the battery is contained. It's an integrated design. You can't actually change the battery like a lot of bike headlights. You have a rubber button on top, single button, that'll let you cycle through the modes and access all the features. USB Type-C charging port on the back, which is something you don't see with all the headlights. They're still using micro USB. So really nice to see here. Nice rubber cover as well, so you can see it easily pushes flat. On the sides, it's very simple as well. You have the little geometric reflective pattern here, which we've seen with other Moon Sport products. A dual lens on the front, and then on the bottom you can see you have the Garmin mount. So what's great about a Garmin mount is almost every device uses it, and they're really cheap to find. So you don't have to use a proprietary one. You don't have to use this handlebar mount either. If you have an out front mount already, this will work with it. What's really cool about this light though is the lens. So you can see it has this anti-glare part here, and this is essentially a zigzag pattern, and it'll deflect the light downward that would otherwise be in your eyes. So pedestrians or cars won't be blinded as you approach them. Now to remove that little lens cover, you can actually just pull up on this. You need nails or something flat, and you can see the lens is actually two parts then. Standard flat lens here, and then the little sawtooth soft beam deflector here. And what you do is essentially orientate this so the deflector is on the top, depending on how you want to mount it. So if I want to upside down mount this, I put it here, and that'll deflect it downward. If I want to upside down mount it, I leave it again on the top. If this wasn't reversible, when you would upside down mount it, you'll actually end up with this on the bottom, and that's where we see a lot of Magicshine lights and other lights on the market. They're simply not designed to be mounted upside down and actually cause more glare. So a very cool feature, simple and cheap design that I'm surprised other light companies haven't picked up on. Now the user interface with a lot of Moon Sport lights is a bit complicated, and that's the same case here. You have a couple constant modes, so you see low, medium, high. Here you can actually see the lens. This is the anti-glare portion. So that's what the little deflectors do. They essentially make a dual beam. So you have the main circle beam that you see with all standard lights, and then you have this little extension here. So if I cover that up in my hands, you can see that would go away and you just have a normal circle. So simple design. It's not as sharp as the European STVVO lights, which have a sharp beam cutoff more like your car, but works well and it's effective. So a couple constant modes, low, medium, high, double click to access flash. And you get a couple flashes, day flash, even a more night flash, and you can see it's various patterns. I really like some of the day flash options such as this, as they catch your eye as they're not as irregular of a pattern. Standard SOS, and then even a nighttime flash that's less obnoxious to ride with. The other thing is this has intelligent mode. So what you can do with this is it'll actually turn itself off during the day, which is a little bit confusing. So there's an integrated light sensor in here, and if you have intelligent mode on, it will go to standby mode when there's a lot of light, and then automatically turn on again when it gets dark. So it's about a 30-second delay for turning off. It's not really, I'm not sure why they programmed it this way. It makes a lot more sense to have it actually go between day and night mode like we see with Magicshine lights and other lights on the market, but still works. The other thing is you have VLS. So even though these are low, medium, high, they're really just mode 1, 2, 3. If you hold the light, you can actually adjust it. So it'll actually go up and down. So it'll go all the way dim, and then it'll go all the way to the max setting, flash to indicate it's there. And wherever you release it, that's where it'll end up. So a pretty cool feature, something that's pretty useful, although the default settings work quite well. Now let's take a look at the Rigel 700 on the road. There's only a couple mode options. You have mode 1, 2 for constant, which is defaulted to a high-low. Of course, you can change that and the run times will adjust automatically as well. You have multiple flash options, a fast flash, a steady flash, as well as a day flash. And day flash works really well during the daytime because it has an irregular pattern, so it catches your eye. And of course, SOS. SOS is the one mode you cannot change with VLS. And it works well if you're in an emergency. Here you can see some riding footage with the light. And at 700 lumens, it is bright, but not as bright as other lights on the market. It's a nice compact size, and as you can see with the deflectors on the lens, you get a dual beam effect. You can see how much light there is in front of the bike, which really helps illuminate the road rather than adding glare. And you can see on dark roads, it has a nice spot beam with enough flood to the sides so you can actually see the road. Now let's do a comparison between the Rigel 700 and other lights. Now we've reviewed the Headlux 450 from Topeak. You can see similar size, dual LEDs, but obviously lower powered. Similar cost actually, as Topeak is a little more expensive, so 700 lumens versus 400. It's definitely the better value is the Moon Sport. The nice thing about the Headlux is it's a little bit smaller with this bi-directional mount, so you can mount it horizontally or vertically, depending on handlebars or helmet, and lighter weight, again with the lower output. Now here we see a more traditional Magicshine light. This is the new RN 1500 with the fancy anodized color scheme, which is nice to see compared to just the gray and black on the Moon Sport. Now the flaw with this light is even though it has USB Type-C charging, battery status checker, and a lot of cool features, it has the same anti-glare design, but it's a fixed lens. So if I were to mount this bike upside down, you'll see that the anti-glare is actually on the bottom, so it becomes a extra glare lens, which is one of the big downsides to the style light. And the big perk for the Moon Sport one, you just simply pull this lens off and flip it. So you can see here I have it set up for upside down mounting, and it's orientated correctly. So a really cool feature. Pricing wise, similar. Magicshine and Moon Sport are quite similar pricing, but the Moon Sport has the VLS, Variable Lumen System, which a lot of lights don't. The Rigel series also has a lot of other lights in the lineup. Moon Sport offers it everything from even 400 lumens all the way up to this 3500, 3600 lumen variation we have here. So this is the Rigel Power. much bigger. Obviously, you can see the resemblance between them with the rectangular design, the little graphics on the side, the rear portion with the USB Type-C. This has a modified Garmin mount though on the power just because it's so large. It has a locking pin, and you can see 4 bolts just due to the larger size and the 6 LED setup. Otherwise, very similar features. You have the same motion sensor and the ambient light sensors that behave in the same way. So if you're used to one, you can actually be comfortable using the other as well. Now let's go over the pros and cons for the Rigel 700. What we like about it is that it has USB Type-C charging, and it even supports USB-C to C, so you can use an existing cable you already own. It also has a reversible lens for upside down mounting, which is a really nice feature, something you don't see with a lot of lights, and with the prevalence of out front mounts, a feature you really should take advantage of. Also has a Garmin quarter turn style mount, so you don't have to use adapters or any proprietary mounts. Some of the negatives for the light is the fact that it lacks DRLs. That would be a nice feature for daytime riding. And the other thing is that intelligent mode actually turns the light off during the day, which is a strange feature considering they have a day flash. Most other lights would switch between day flash and your previous setting, which makes more sense. Taking everything into account would give the Rigel 700 9.1 out of 10. It really solves the problem of upside down mounting with a directional beam, and with the anti-glare design really helps reduce the glare for oncoming traffic or pedestrians. Thanks for watching this review. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can see more content from us on our website at thesweetcyclist.com, as well as follow us on Instagram at thesweetcyclists. This is The Sweet Cyclist reminding you to enjoy the ride.